Hello everyone and welcome to another News Coolum video, and I guess partially another off-grid EV charging update. I was hoping I'd be able to charge up all the way to the 90% cutoff, the Hilltop Reserve, for my Bolt EV, so that it would reset the computer, because since I've been charging exclusively on solar, I haven't yet reset the main trip, or the main energy usage screen, or the energy detail screen, I guess. And so we got really close this time. And actually, funny enough, I don't think it was a lack of energy, because what will happen is the car will charge until the Anker Solex F3800 is completely drained. Then it will turn off, and then I have to wait for the solar panels to sort of recharge it again. But this time was a little bit different, because it actually looks like it stopped due to heat. And now it's also, being the finicky Anker Solex that it is, not really shutting off the way it should. I got it to cycle on and off one time, which did reset the overheating icon, and it started to charge from solar again, and then like a minute later it just turned off due to heat again. So apparently, I mean, I don't know what it's complaining about. It's only 100 degrees outside. So maybe I'm going to need to get a little bit more active cooling or something in that shed, because I don't know how else I would be able to keep it so it's not going to overheat with the draw coming from the Bolt EV, and then the input power from the solar panels. And then, of course, my alternative plan to eventually add a battery component to it, so that basically my next step goal, if you will, is to be able to plug the Bolt EV in even as low as 10% battery at night, and just have it charge, and at night, so there's no solar input, and have enough energy on hand for it to continue charging all night. And whether it gets to full or not is not as big of a deal as just charging continuously, because that's the convenience that comes with owning an electric vehicle. Essentially just turnkey, plug it in, forget it, and you wake up every morning to a full tank of gas. In this case, I'm giving up that latter part just for the convenience of not having to plan around how much energy is available to put into the battery. And I do roll in sometimes with as little as 10 or 15% battery. But for today, I wanted to turn this into also just sort of a trip. So this will be the first sort of long-ish shopping trip that I do, again, after I've transitioned 100% to solar. So we're traveling on free juicies now. I want to see if I can maybe do the trip without charging at all, but that might be a little bit tough, because I have to try to pick up the registration stickers for my F-150. I replaced the gas pump on it, the gas tank, but I had to cycle through the tank before I was able to get a smog. So $80, $90 in gasoline, $80, $90 for the smog check. And then now it's just a matter of picking up the stickers, but none of the DMVs are open. And I do need the truck to pick some stuff up relatively soon, and I don't want to be driving it around anymore on the stickers. The registration's paid for, but the sticker is now expired, and I don't want to give the CHP an excuse to pull me over. So anyway, we're going to try to do 180, 190 miles today. Let's get ready to head out. All right, quick detour. I guess I forgot to reset my trip meter. It's fine. Like I said, I've been waiting to charge to full to do that anyway. But yeah, here at the Pilot in Orland, off of I-5, we had already confirmed that the construction was moving forward, and they got the canopy up. So it looks like all they need to do is finish filling in the trenching, and I'm not sure if maybe what they're going to do is put a pad to the right where the transformer is, so it's right next to where the switchgear is. because I can't really see where else they would put a transformer unless it's like on a different part of the property, and then, but that would be a long run to get to the chargers. So they might just put the transformer right over here, right next to, like I said, the switchgear, the cabinets. All of it's pretty compact. They fit this in a very small corner of this pilot location. Unfortunately, you know, no true pull through here, especially if you've got a big trailer. But it does have the canopy, which is going to be very welcome, especially, you know, in the height of summer. It's getting a little bit more sun exposure than I would have thought this time of year, but at least there is some shade, and you could probably manage to pull in a way that you could maximize that, you know, just the nature of a narrow canopy, and then, you know, it facing east-west with the sun, right? So, but also they moved the air compressor, so it's not next to the chargers anymore. But anyway, let's get back on the road. We're now on, you know, on schedule to get to that location by maybe 6:15. So let's see if we can beat the Google time estimate. All right, well, that's some BS. I drove all the way up here into Paradise, probably 20 miles out of my way, and the DMV kiosk is out of order. You would think that they would show that on the website if it's, you know, if you're searching for it. So unless it just went down while I was driving over. Yeah, so DMV. Anyway, so we're up here in Paradise, and this might actually give me a chance, though, to check out the EVCS charger. It's the first time that I've actually had a chance to use an EVCS charger on one of my trips without really going out of my way specifically to look at it. So let's see if we can at least make something useful about a 1,500-foot climb in elevation to get to a place where didn't even have what we were here for. So let's turn this AC back on. All right, well, chalk one up for EVCS. You know, I actually really like this site. I think it's very, very decent. I'm gonna have to check the map though, because probably the single biggest knock on this site is the location. Don't get me wrong, like I love the fact that it's on I guess like Paradise Skyway, but basically it's on a rural route heading up into the mountains. I think that is a really crucial location to place chargers. I mean, I know big cities want chargers, but I also feel like along these rural routes, you want some assortment of chargers even outside of big cities in these smaller towns. Paradise kind of reminds me of Ojai a bit too, down in Southern California, where, you know, it's just outside of a larger city, but it's up in the mountains where it's a little bit more rural, and it's like one main thoroughfare, and then everything else is kind of just folds off to the sides, and so it creates a long town where the amenities are kind of spread out. So I was in that strip mall before. There were no chargers there, but here, this is a little bit off the beaten path, not too far, but the only store that I know for sure is basically a candy store right here. This is like at a confectionery. So that's not normally the type of stop that you would make. But then again, if you're out with your family traveling into the mountains on just a leisurely road trip, this is a novel site. This is a good location to have it. Now, that being said, this site can only be charging 6 vehicles at a time. There are only 6 stalls, but more so, there are also only 6 active plugs, and 2 of them are level 2 AC. I'll go confirm. I think those are 30 or 32 amp, the powered by Noodle chargers. The rest of these are 50 kilowatt. I thought they were the Tritium PKM 150, but I guess there might be, there's another model that it's only 50 kilowatt and it doesn't split. So I was seeing, I think 48 kilowatt when I plugged in. It does have dual CHAdeMO and CCS, which is nice for some of the older EVs that are still using that CHAdeMO standard. But otherwise, it started right up when, I plugged it in, I selected the CCS, it asked for my payment, I just did a quick tap with my chip card, and it accepted, and it started charging right away. There's signage for non-electric vehicles can park here, but they have a 30-minute limit. I'm assuming no such limit exists for electric vehicles. But yeah, this is just an overall good utilitarian site. I would like to see it a little bit faster than this, but like I said, if you're gonna do a leisurely stop as you're traveling through scenic paradise up into the mountains and you have your family, you take kids into a candy shop, I don't know if that really warrants 350 kilowatt chargers. I'll just say that. And then, they have a little sign on here that says powered 100% by renewable energy. So I don't know if I get an exception, right, where I said my Bolt EV has been powered by solar for this entire battery cycle. So maybe I still get that credit, right? Overall, I think it's just a good utilitarian site in a place where I think it's warranted. And yeah, if anything, if you're going to up the power, I would say split power 100 kilowatt units would maybe be all you would really need. We're in the shade now, so there's no canopy or covering, which is a little bit unfortunate. This is, maybe a bit more of a fair weather charging site. And then the only other big knock that I would have on this for EVCS is they're still using the activation fee, and it's already not cheap, right? So it's 60 cents per kilowatt hour, which for California is kind of like, okay, that's nothing terrible, but nothing great. It's just almost an expected price at this point. But on top of that, you have that 99-cent activation fee, which it changes the dynamics of how people use chargers, right? Especially level 2, because the math that you're doing in your head is, well, now I need to amortize this out, right? Because if you charge for, just a single kilowatt hour, well, now you've just paid, and I think, is it, 59 cents? I guess it's technically 60 cents. But now you've paid $1.58 for 1 kilowatt hour. That's just, that math doesn't math. And then you say, well, if I charge 2 kilowatt hours, now I'm paying a little over $2 for 2 kilowatt hours. It's still $1 a kilowatt hour. That sucks. And so it sort of drives, psychology wise, it drives this behavior where people will stay longer than they would normally, just to take advantage of the fact that they had to pay an upfront fee for just activating. But anyway, I mean, I think it's good, and I might stay just a little bit longer, take a little bit more B-roll, and then let the little doggy walk a little bit and get the air conditioning going. It's a little bit nicer up here at Paradise, but it's still 90 degrees. So then we'll get ready to hit the road. Welcome to the Butte Creek Overlook. I always drive by this gulch. It's one of the most scenic parts of the drive once you're heading up out of Chico. But the lookout here is on the, I guess, westbound, southbound Paradise Skyway route out of the hills. But it's always nice to just kind of look at this. I mean, it's not really green right now, but it's a pretty impressive gulch. Nothing like Grand Canyon level, but you know, not too bad. Not too bad for a small Northern California town and a poor California boy. And you know, if you can't make it to Paris, you can always put a lock on the fence here. But yeah, it's really nice. You get to see, like, right now it's just like the turkey vultures kind of floating around. The vultures are floating. They're pretty efficient little birds flying around in the air. And then of course, you know, you've got some other wildlife that you run into, lizards, stuff like that. Nice oak tree over here. But yeah, I just wanted to check it out. Maybe I should have timed it so the sun was a little bit lower, more of a golden hour. But you know, this is just we happened by while on a road trip. So I'll probably come check it out again, maybe at a more scenic time or a more picturesque time. But yeah, anyway, I just saw the lookout, figured, why not stop by? All I have left to do now is just kind of do some grocery shopping and head home. So might as well do that. But yeah, I'm kicking the AC back on and we are heading to the store. At least initial shopping trip done, or this part of the shopping trip. I'll still need to stop by Walmart on the way back. But yeah, our time here in Chico is done, here at Trader Joe's, and yeah, time to hit the road. It's nice, down to a nice 95 degrees, so don't look at me like that. Yeah. Let's hit the road. All right, well, shopping done, picked up the pet food and stuff like that, but yeah, so the Electrify America here at the Walmart, it seems like it's still having some bugs. There's a blue Ford Mach-E owner that's trying to plug in, it looks like, and it looks like they're on their third attempt now. So I don't know, hopefully that station gets fixed soon. And luckily EVCS worked just fine for me, and there's no real need to charge at this point. We're just gonna head home, and we'll plug in tomorrow morning, I think, when the solar power hopefully has restored for the Anchor Solex. So let's hit the road. All right, well, we made it home. No issues. It's down to 80 degrees, which is cool. I guess literally. And yeah, like I said, hopefully I can charge up enough on solar to reset this energy detail screen. All's well that ends well. We have still about 30% battery left, so really no issues making this trip. EVCS worked out great. They're still making forward progress on the pilot in Orland, GM Energy Charging in Orland. And the Electrify America looks like it's still struggling. As I left, I saw the Mach-E driver plugging into I think it was the CHAdeMO connector. So hopefully that works. There's also construction next to it. I don't want to get our hopes up, but there's a possibility that that Walmart maybe is one of the Walmart charging updates. Maybe. We'll see. They're doing a lot of work over there tearing that up, and they might just pile on and put a bunch of Walmart chargers right next to the Electrify America chargers. That would be hilarious. But yeah, like I said, and I'll keep you posted on the solar. But yeah, interesting trip, and pretty uneventful, pretty straightforward. And then I'm gonna get out a little bit more. I need to check some charging sites in Northern California and in Central California and the Bay Area, I think. So those will probably be 3 to 4 at least distinct trips coming up soon. So as always, thank you for watching.